What's going on, everybody? In H-Town, Red Nation, all over the world, even for those in Germany, Turkey, Washington, D.C., Utah, and beyond. Thanks so much for watching Rockets Daily. My name is David Delano. This is brought to you by FanArch. Go ahead and like, subscribe. We appreciate all of you out there who are watching today and all the other days along with in the future and continue to help us grow. So go ahead and leave those comments. Let us know what's on your mind in Houston. And yeah, subscribe to this channel. Looking forward to an exciting season. A full disclaimer before: I'm human. I'm not an AI bot. I want to let you guys know I'm gonna be off of camera for most of this episode. Yesterday evening, just something hit me as far as sometimes we go through life so busy, you feel a little tired. You almost get used to feeling a little bit of that groggy feeling, but feeling a little bit under the weather. Kids back in school, so your boy's gonna power through this, but I'm gonna be off of camera more than normal. Thanks so much for bearing with me, and if my voice sounds, however, that's what it is. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into the show. Thanks so much for the comments. I do read out each and every comment, and I know every now and then someone will make a. You had one yesterday as far as saying we're reporting fake news. If you listen to the show, no fake news was reported. We talked about Giannis because Rafael Stone talked about Giannis. He basically said that he made the call to Milwaukee, and it was made known to him clearly that Giannis was not available. But he did that interview on ESPN Houston recently. It's in the local news. It's in the national news. And please believe, just because we talk about Giannis, we talk about a lot of players, doesn't mean Giannis is guaranteed to be a Rocket. But the Rockets did inquire; he wasn't available. And if the Bucks get off to a shaky start or things here aren't going the way that we want to, not saying Giannis will be here, but if you don't think that Stone's at least gonna send that "Are you up?" text or something over there to the GM of the Bucks. I mean, I can guarantee you that that's gonna happen. So yeah, but thanks so much for all of the comments, and let's go ahead and start off here. All right, so as we look at the odds out in the Western Conference here, expect it to be a very, very exciting season. But these odds here are just the Western Conference odds only. So these are the odds to obviously go to the finals out of the Western Conference. Oklahoma City, of course, is favored. And you can see the Denver Nuggets are actually going to be second, and Houston is third. Now, these odds here are going to be according to these odds here are going to be according to ESPN Bet. So each sports book, they're a little bit different. Some sports books have the Rockets with the second best odds in the West. This one has the Rockets third. So it's going to be an exciting season. I've seen a lot of the comments, of course, a lot of people anticipating 60 wins plus. Like I stated, I see more in that 54, 55 wins personally. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter in the regular season. I don't. I think that we're going to see Kevin Durant play about 66 games. That would be the mark for me. But and when you look at this here, of course, Oklahoma City, Denver, yeah, as the biggest threats right now here as we're at the end of August. But you have to wonder as far as which teams are going to make the move. And when you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, the Clippers have obviously made moves. And focusing really here, you look at the Lakers, the Warriors, and even the Dallas Mavericks, who definitely not at the top there. But these are all teams that I think would be. I think we're going to expect some moves during the season. And as we look at some of the different free agents out here, you know, both restricted and guys who can sign anywhere. Some of the names that we've been talking about throughout this offseason, and I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I think it looks clear that the Rockets are not going to be interested in a lot of those guys, but that does not mean that they won't have an effect on our season. So Obviously, Josh Giddey, restricted, free agent, not someone that can sign with the Rockets. Cam Thomas looked like he's going to return to the Brooklyn Nets. But you still have guys here who are really high impact players. I mean, Jonathan Kaminga, situation with him. Quentin Grimes over there in Philadelphia. Different guys who I would not be surprised if they are somewhat traded or dealt to another situation. We've talked about guard depth on this team. Malcolm Brogdon's still out there. I've talked about Seth Curry. Russell Westbrook still out there, and these are all guys that, even though right now it's not looking like realistic options to be here in Houston. A lot of these guys you're seeing rumors you're hearing attached to the Lakers or the Warriors, Mavericks in some moves, Clippers being aggressive. Don't count out San Antonio or Minnesota. So out of these guys, it should say which team, just something to think about as far as which team that's currently below the Rockets are you the most worried about? So we're looking at Minnesota, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Spurs. Probably not Memphis, but hey, if you got a reason for it, let me know. Which one of these teams are you the most worried about? Maybe not so much as far as what they have on their roster today, but when you look at the front office, when you look at the expectations of the organization, who's most likely to make a big move? I mean, there's been rumors about LeBron James going to the Golden State Warriors. I don't personally see it happening, but trust me, even if you don't see LeBron going anywhere, there's teams definitely asking and trying it. And the way that the NBA is, and you look at LeBron, who's going to be 41 years old in December, you never know how this season can play out and who will decide to sign off on which trade with a small window. So, as far as the Rockets go, I don't know what it's going to be, but I do think that at some point during this season, we're going to see a big move from one of these other threats in the Western Conference, and we're going to see how the Rockets react. Right now, as optimistic as I am, I think that the backcourt needs some improvement, and I just don't think that we're going to get to the end of the season with our guards looking exactly the way that it looks right now. All right, we talked about the Eurobasket a little bit yesterday. Something you can check out on the FIVA app. Starts on Wednesday, and I believe that this first one of these first matchups, really, we're going to talk about Turkey here because Şengün is on the squad. Also, Cedi Osman, former NBA player, a few former NBA players on that team. And they're going to be going up against Latvia, and they feature Christoph Porzingis. So that actually should be a pretty good matchup. We'll go ahead and dive into what happens in that game. We'll probably talk about that on Thursday's episode of Rockets Daily because that game's going to be about noon Eastern time on tomorrow on Wednesday. So we'll keep you locked in as far as this. I think the biggest thing that we want to see, obviously, I think Şengün's going to do his thing. Get through this healthy is the most important thing. Get through this healthy. Come back to H-Town as with the experience. And September 3rd, mentioned they play Serbia game matchup against Jokic. So we're gonna stay locked into that as well. I had a comment yesterday from a follower of Turkey. Very, very much appreciated. You mentioned that you're not going to be watching the Eurobasket, but let me know if there's anybody that is. You don't have to be in Turkey. You could be in anywhere if you're going to be following this. And also, keep us informed. Any of you guys, if you are watching the Eurobasket, man, what you see from Şengün, what you see from anybody in this tournament that's relevant to the Rockets, let us know your thoughts in the comments. It's definitely much, much appreciated. You guys could also follow me on X at Get Sports Strong. Now, of course, cannot leave you off without some Rockets history, as we're going to go ahead and talk about this 1997-1998 season for your Houston Rockets. And unfortunately, after the back-to-back titles and then a disappointing season where the Bulls won their 72 games, The Rockets, yeah, the 95-96 season was disappointing. Had a strong season in 96-97, but lost to the Utah Jazz in 7 games. This 97-98 season really was not what it was. This was the last season for Clyde Drexler, and this team went during the regular season. This team went 41-41. Not impressive at all. At least not according to the standards that we had been seeing in the previous years. A lot of that had to do with Hakeem Olajuwon being injured for a good portion. Olajuwon started in 45 games that year, played 47. Actually looked human that year for Olajuwon as Dream only put up 16.4 points per game and 9.8 rebounds per game. Hate to say only. Kevin Willis, 16.1 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, played 81 games for the Rockets. You had, like I said, Clyde last season, 18.4 points per game. He played in 70 games. Charles Barkley, 68 games, 11.7 rebounds, 15.2 points per game. So a lot of injuries, guys getting older, guys being more human. And the Rockets would lose in the first round of the playoffs. However, Rockets were the 8th seed. Utah Jazz went to the NBA Finals that year and lost to the Chicago Bulls. And the Rockets put up a fight. Kind of wonder what could have been once the team came together in the playoffs. Still had a shot. Ended up taking the eventual Western Conference champs to 5 games. Now that was a best of 5 series. Rockets were up 2-1. Unfortunately, game 4 with a chance to close it out in Houston, Rockets were destroyed 93-71 and then lost game 5 in Utah 84-70 in that 5-game playoff series. And mentioning what could have been as far as saying when the team came together for the postseason, it didn't last long enough. I mentioned Rockets up 2-1. Game 4, Charles Barkley had injury to his tricep, and the Rockets, that game that the Rockets lost by 22 points, was due to the injury. I mean, Barkley was not out there for the full game, and then lost game 5 without Barkley. So Barkley only 4 games in that series. I'm due to leaving that game 4 with an injury. Only put up 21.8 minutes per game, 9 points, 5.3 rebounds. Olajuwon, 20.4 points per game, 10.8 rebounds, but shot under 40% from the field. I did play in all 5 games. You had Clyde Drexler with 15 points per game, Kevin Willis with 11.2. So only 500 season, 8th seed, but still managed to take the eventual Western Conference champs to 5 games. And really, if it wasn't for the injury to Charles Barkley, who knows what would have happened. But it happened. So thanks so much for watching this episode of Rockets Daily. Thanks so much for bearing with me here. And if you're one of those who are tuning in here at the end, as I mentioned, I'm not feeling 100% today, so spent most of the episode off of camera. But definitely appreciate it. Feel free to drop your comments, subscribe to this channel, help us grow. Be safe out there, and I will see you guys tomorrow.